Cranberry sauce, Harry?
I don't like it, Mom.
Sweetie, you never tried it.
I don't care and I don't like it.
How do you know if you never tried it?
Your mother's right, you know. If you never tried it, you got to keep your mind open. You want to know something about cranberry sauce? When I was a little boy, I was in China.
You were in China when you were a little boy?
Sure. I was just a little bit older than you are now.
That must have been a long time ago.
Yes, it was. Well, long, long ago, in a faraway land known as the Middle Kingdom, my father, your great-great-grandfather, was going to work in the great city of Peking with the famous Chinese scholar and translator, Yen Fu. My mother and my tutor, Miss Seymour, were determined to see the sights of China.
What are those? Those are lanterns to light the palace of the young princes.
Wonderful temple.
Yes.
Marvelous.
Yes.
Please, Miss Seymour, allow me.
Anna, I'm still not happy about you going off on this jaunt by yourself. You know you're not fully recovered.
Oh, nonsense. I was over the fever a week ago. I would have you know that American ladies are renowned for the strength of their constitutions.
Mother, look at the
Besides, Miss Seymour and I have 2 strong men to look after us on our journey.
Professor Jones, I have every confidence in Li Xingsui. I'm sure you cannot wish for a better interpreter and guide.
I'm sure not. And we are extremely grateful to him for undertaking this task.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Mother, can I ride on the baggage cart?
Henry, dear, you get your suit dirty and don't scuff your shoes. Come here. Come here.
And remember, Anna, he is not on holiday.
Mr. Lee and I have devised a very interesting and informative itinerary.
Yes, highly educational.
I'm sure Junior is delighted to hear that.
They say that education is a journey of the mind. So what could be better than to travel with a book in the hand?
Traveling without one.
Come along, Annie. If you're determined to go, you'd better be off, or you'll miss your train.
Now, darling, don't you worry about us. We are going to learn all about China, and we are going to have the greatest fun doing it.
Faster! Faster!
Sweetheart, no. Think of the poor rickshaw man.
Quicker.
Quicker! Quicker! Quicker!
The Great Wall of China was designed by the Emperor Qin, whose aspirations
Excuse me,
were
Miss
to...
Seymour. It is pronounced Qin.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Lee. Emperor Qin, who was a wise but ruthless man, reigned from 221 BC to the year 210 BC. Henry, are you paying attention?
对不起，这件车伤我们包下来的。啊，对不起。
Now, Henry, do you remember what we said about Chinese dynasties? They were named after the families of Chinese emperors. The Emperor Qin was the first to unify the territory we now call China, and the time of his rule is known as the Qin dynasty. And just as in America we speak of the Revolutionary period or the Civil War, in China we speak of the Qin or the Ming dynasty.
Oh, my, look at that.
What? Let me see. Well, let me see.
Every Buddhist temple has, at its entrance, 4 guardian kings. They protect the world against attacks from evil spirits. The red-faced statue is the guardian of the south, also called the Lord of Growth. The laughing Buddha is officially known as Mi-Lo. This type of Buddha represents happiness and good fortune.
Henry, please don't run up here. It's too dangerous.
Oh, Mother.
Come here.
Oh, at last, there it is. The Great Wall.
It starts at Shanhaiguan, by the sea.
How long is the wall?
I'm not quite sure. About 3,000 miles, I think.
And it was built by Emperor Henry? Emperor?
Chin? Why do you think he built it? Do you think he just woke up one morning and said, "Hey, let's build the Great Wall of China"?
Well, not quite, but very nearly. Parts of it were built earlier as fortifications and watchtowers. But Emperor Qin conceived the idea of one continuous wall to mark the limits of his empire.
You mean he built the whole wall himself?
Oh no. Other emperors came after him to complete the wall. Millions of men were conscripted.
Oh, like building the pyramids.
Yes, but that was 2,000 years earlier, and of course they were not fortifications, but tombs.
This too is a kind of tomb. They say that in some places, a man died for every yard of the wall.
Ah, must be the longest graveyard in the world.
Mr. Lee, did you see where Henry went?
No, Mrs. Jones, I don't believe I did. Master Jones! Master Jones!
Henry!
Here I am.
Oh, Henry.
Mom.
So, we travel to Jinan County and visit Chufu, and we may manage to visit the Mongyang Temple on the way back.
That is a long journey, Miss Seymour. We would have to hire a conveyance at the inn, and it would probably not be very comfortable.
Still, it would be so interesting. Don't you think so, Mrs. Jones?
Oh, yes. To say that we had seen the birthplace of Confucius would truly be something to remember.
Henry, have you learned the chronology of the dynasties yet?
You know, Miss Seymour, I think it's more important to learn the language of the country than it is the history.
You mean you haven't learned them?
The Shang dynasty, the Chu dynasty, the Qin dynasty, the Tang dynasty, the Sung dynasty, Yuan dynasty, Ming dynasty, and the Manchu dynasty.
You left out the Sui dynasty, the Three Kingdoms, and several others.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Lee, might I have a word with you? See that man there? Here's the man on the train. He's been following us.
Oh, surely it's just a coincidence.
Mr. Lee, I'm not stupid.
I beg your pardon.
He's been watching my mom. Why would he do that?
Perhaps just because she is a foreigner.
My father says the Chinese don't like foreigners. They want to throw them all out.
A few revolutionaries, perhaps.
That's what he is. He's a revolutionary. Do you think he has a bomb? Should we throw him overboard? What should we do?
Now, young Henry, a man does not act without thinking. Everything in nature depends upon balance. Action must be controlled by knowledge.
So, there are 5 elements. Metal, wood, fire, earth, and water.
Yes. Fire is fed by wood. And after the fire has burnt itself out, there remain ashes, which become earth. In the earth are found metals from which water springs. The water feeds the trees, and thus the circle is completed. So nature finds its own balance.
Mom?
Yes, sweetheart. It's time for bed. We have to make an early start in
But
the
Mom...
morning. Come on, it's time for bed.
The innkeeper says that he is very reliable and that he speaks English.
Oh, any man calling me Peking?
He says his name is Peking.
Ping.
#1 chop, walkie.
Is he saying that we have to walk?
No. In Pidgin, walkie is used for all means of transport.
What's pigeon?
It is used by Chinese people to foreigners who don't understand Chinese.
It's very quaint, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Mrs. Jones, Miss Seymour, are you sure you want to take this journey? The roads are very bad, and this cart will not be comfortable.
Mr. Lee, we are seasoned travelers by now. I'm sure that we'll be fine.
Mr. Lee, what's the Chinese word for mother?
Ma.
Hey, Ma.
Oh, Henry, you know how much I dislike it when you call me that.
It's Chinese.
No, not quite. I'm afraid you called your gracious mother a horse.
No, you said...
I said ma. Ma means mother. Ma means horse. In Chinese, inflections change the meaning of a word.
Ah, Chinese, very tricky language, huh? Ma, 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 ma. Hey, Ma, my head hurts.
Oh, Henry, dear, you've been running around too much. You stay with Mother and calm down.
Are you all right, Mrs. Jones?
Why, yes, of course. But Apine says we must go chop-chop before the rain comes.
I don't think Mr. Lee approves of pidgin English.
It is very convenient.
But perhaps not very dignified.
The Chinese language is a difficult one to learn, and there are many dialects, but...
But you agree with Henry that people who go to a foreign country should learn to speak the language.
Where is Henry?
Excuse me, ladies. There's been some misunderstanding. He was told he was needed here. Nothing to worry about. 你待这儿。
你再来，我就把你送进衙门里去，下手示众。走了。
Oh, boy.
We shall not see him again.
Oh, boy, wait till I tell Miss Seymour and
Henry,
Mom.
I don't think we should tell them. If he was just a common thief, but still, it might alarm the ladies. And Pyung would lose face because he left his cart and the luggage at the bidding of a stranger. You took the time to think, and then you acted wisely, and so you have your own approbation. You do not need the applause of others.
I guess so.
Well, there's Henry. I was afraid for a moment you might have gotten lost.
No, evidently the stupid man was saying there was something wrong with the horse.
No, Pyung was just apologizing for his unsuitable horse, and he promises to hire a bigger, stronger one when we come to the country roads. There may be rain.
Mom, my head hurts. I don't feel so good.
You don't feel so good? Well, his head does feel rather hot. Do you think he has a fever?
Oh, I'm sure. Yes, he does seem rather feverish. How much further?
I'm not sure. I've never been to this part of the country before.
Are we almost there?
I don't think so, sweetheart. I don't think so. Mr. Lee, how near are we to the mission?
I don't know.
Mr. Lee, Queen, why have we stopped?
We just need to cross this river. How? 走吧。
Are you all right? Are you hurt? Everything is gone.
My bag. Oh, my bag. Poppy, where's my bag?
Mr. Lee, be careful. Mr. Lee. Oh, give me your hand. Oh.
进来吧。
平北洋的师太回来了，他们要在这里住几天。下雨开始。
Mr. Lee, ask them please to light a fire.
And make a pot of tea. Tea always helps.
We must get him out of these wet clothes.
And the luggage hadn't gone in the river. Well, our food, clothes, medicine, all our money. We really have lost everything.
What's in your bag?
Only books, I'm afraid. And my little reading lamp.
能不能上火，喝点茶？
干什么？上火去啊！
你还站着干什么？去还就去。 Drink it down, sweetheart. Or do you good? Mr. Lee, where is the nearest doctor?
这附近有一个大夫。
山村有个大夫，浑身上他是个秀才。
There's a doctor in the next village, a Chinese doctor, Dr. Wen.
Was he trained in America?
No, he practices traditional Chinese medicine.
What about the American mission?
这儿是不是有一个美国教会？
哦，有个美国教会，可是教会离这里起码3天的路程。
你有马吗？
还没有。
There is an American missionary who is a doctor. But the mission is at least 3 days' ride away. And Huang Feng does not have a horse.
It's all right, Henry. I'm here. Mother's here. I need to go home. I know, sweetheart. We'll go home very soon. And when we get home, you know the very first thing we'll do? We'll go to Uncle Pete's farm. You can feed the chickens. And you can have a ride on his pony. Isn't that a good idea? Shabbat, don't you cry. Go to sleepy little baby. When you wake, you shall have all the pretty little
Huang Feng only inherited about half an acre.
Half an acre? Why, that's not enough to keep body and soul together.
I think it is not easy.
No, we mustn't impose on these people any longer than we have to.
You are right. But they are glad to welcome you into their home. Hospitality is very important in China.
Woman, you're Tom Jagore.
Mom, I've got a pain.
Henry, sweetheart, what's wrong?
Hey.
Where does it hurt? His fever's returned. His head is hot, but he's still shivering. Let's get him covered up and get him away from the window. If only we could have a proper fire.
Oh, sorry.
Pyung has found the horse. The cart is not too badly damaged. He and Huang Feng are mending the wheel right now.
Excellent. Did you find the luggage?
No. I'm sorry, it must have been carried downstream.
Well, it can't be helped. We must get Henry to the doctor as soon as possible.
Henry isn't well enough to travel.
Oh.
He's very ill, I know he is, and I wish that there was a doctor near, but...
You're quite right. Henry should stay here. We will send our Pin to fetch the doctor.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Lee, would you ask our Pin to come in here? He must leave as soon as possible.
Yes, Miss Seymour.
If only I hadn't insisted on this trip. It's all my fault.
Oh, no, Miss Seymour, of course it isn't. If it's anyone's, it's mine. My husband told me that it would be dangerous to make this journey, but I wouldn't listen. If anything happens to Indy, I don't...
Miss Seymour, Pyung says he can set out right away.
Does he know the way?
Me sorry. Me belong that Fasan Hai plenty sick. Just Beijing man, fetchy, chop chop.
What on earth does Joss Pigeon Man mean?
Clergyman. You see, he has understood perfectly.
Yes, as long as he understands, the clergyman must also be a doctor. I'm going with him.
It will be a very hard journey, a long way over bad roads.
All the more reason for me to go with him to make sure that he doesn't dawdle.
Well, I'm sure we can trust our Ping.
Well, I'm sure he means well. But if the doctor isn't there, will he be able to insist on finding him and bringing him back?
Well, Mr. Lee could go with him.
No. You'll need Mr. Lee here to explain to the family what you need. I can be far more useful fetching the doctor.
Mom, am I gonna die like Susie?
Well, honey, of course not. Your sister was very little, but she was never very strong.
Now she's in heaven with Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Am I gonna die and go to heaven?
One day, but not yet. Joe? Yes. Yes, please. Cha. Mr. Lee! Is that the doctor?
No, it's just a man who has some business with Congress.
Go away! Henry! Go away!
Somebody help me!
Help me,
Please!
No, go away!
Sweetheart, it's just a dream.
No, no! Let me go! How did you get out?
No, it's Mother. I'm right here.
Let me
It's
go!
all right. It's all right.
No.
It's all right. It's all right, sweetheart. All right. It's all right. How soon will the doctor get here?
Another 2 days, certainly, if they have found their way and the doctor is at the mission.
It's all right. It's all right.
保佑他一路平安，一路平安，一路平安。老佛爷保佑他一路平安，一路平安。老佛爷保佑他一路平安，一路平安。老佛爷保佑。
Mr. Lee, what are they doing?
They are praying for your son to have a safe journey.
I won't let him die. I won't. Please fetch the Chinese doctor. Please fetch the Chinese doctor.
请进，请进，真是老年的家，让您辛苦了。小孩在这儿病得很厉害。
Doesn't he do something?
He is looking. That is the first rule, to look. After that, he will feel the pulse.
他什么时候发病的？
He asks what the symptoms were and when they first appeared.
He said his head hurt. It was about 3 or 4 days ago.
3、4天前，他说他头疼。
And then the morning after we arrived here, he had pains in his
当
stomach.
天早上，他说他肚子疼，
Terrible diarrhea.
拉肚子了。
您的孩子病很重，内脏已有损伤，要立即进行诊疗，否则出血了就难办了。
He says your son is very ill. The viscera has all been damaged. He must be treated with acupuncture right away. If they have not been too severely damaged, and he can restore the balance between yin and yang, young Henry may still recover.
What is he doing?
He is preparing the acupuncture needles.
Needles.
Mom!
He's gonna put those needles into my son. No. No! No!
He's gonna hurt
你
me.
们不必担心，
Mom!
请都出去吧。
Don't let him hurt
He
me.
must leave.
Mom!
No!
If he is to save your son's life, you must
Please.
leave.
I can't find my yin yang. I don't understand. I don't understand. My son is going to die. Can anybody do anything?
You must stay here.
Please, Mom, come back. Please. Mom!
You must trust him. He is Henry's only hope.
Where are you? Where are you? Mom!
If my son is going to die, I want to be with him. Let me go.
Mom! Where are you? I'm scared.
I know, sweetheart. I know.
针灸流传几千年了，这孩子内热过
Is
盛
he，going to hurt me?
I don't know Henry,
气管有损，
but we must trust him.
这几次背针
He's going to
是
make
给
you
他
well.
退烧。
He says that acupuncture has been in use for thousands of years. He will start the treatment in the back to reduce the fever.
请你帮助我，再把这孩子翻过来。
We need to turn him onto his stomach.
Yes. All right, sweetheart. Here we go. There we go.
咳嗽，
Young Henry, cough.
响一点，
Bigger cough.
再响一点。
Even bigger cough.
人所周知，精力肾精液穿行，如同大地的河流。这种精力叫气。
Energy flows through the body through certain channels, just as streams and rivers flow through the earth.
人的气管都有蒸血在体表，蒸就经络会影响气血。
Each organ in the body has its own meeting point on the skin, and thus it is possible by inserting a needle at these points to affect the flow of energy,
调节阴阳平衡。
and thus restore the balance between yin and yang.
Yin yang 在宇宙中相辅相成。
Yin and yang are the two opposites which control the universe, and thus the human body.
人体也是一样，阴属湿柔弱，阳属干刚强。
Yin is moist, weak, feminine. Yang is strong, dry, masculine.
阴阳相互调谐，犹如四季。
These two must be in harmony, for how can there be spring without autumn, or summer without winter?
No. No more medicine. 让他睡吧。
孩子出了汗，热就退了。现在应该服药补气，而后精力可以恢复。
He says the child is perspiring again, and that is good. But he must drink this medicine to restore his strength.
No. No more medicine. I don't want him disturbed anymore.
让他母亲决定吧，我已经尽力了。
He says, let it be as the mother
孩
wishes.
子内伤不
He
重
has，done what he can.
可以恢复。
If his strength holds, he will recover. Miss Seymour, Miss Lee.
Dr. James Morton from the American Mission. Mr. Li Jin-shui, our guide and our friend.
Li Shui, delighted to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And this is Dr. Wen Chu.
Really? Dr. Wen Chu. Wen Shengsheng. Xinghui. Xinghui.
久仰久仰，马先生大名早有耳闻，请。
How is he? It's still too soon to tell. Very ill.
骚已经退了。
You're very fortunate. Some of these local doctors are charlatans. But Dr. Wen Chu is very famous, and he has had some remarkable successes, especially with typhoid.
Typhoid?
I would think so, from what Miss Seymour has told me. Well, young gentleman, I would say that you were on the mend.
I see how Peking has found some of your luggage.
I know, isn't it splendid?
Yes.
Now, don't forget, Henry isn't out of the woods yet. He needs plenty of rest. And like Dr. Wenchu said, a very light diet. No need to fatten him up too soon now.
Phong Hoi Chi. 我们还在手呢。放会了。放会了。Smiling. 不，回退。那儿。很好，你赢了。You won. Won. That's good.
教育人家是你的穷老婆。
Mr. Lee, what is going on?
Wang Feng could not grow enough to feed his family. He had to borrow money, and he gave this land as security.
So they've come to take the land.
Where's my purse?
No, Miss Jones, you mustn't. You would lose too much face. Miss Seymour, you mustn't press
You
upon
mean
him.
he would rather lose his land and his home than lose face? Excuse me. I am Mrs. Henry Jones.
这是约翰太太。
This is a fine gentleman. And his wife is a great lady.
他说黄蜂和他的太太都是很好的人。
I owe them a debt of many thousands of dollars, and yet never once have they reminded me of that debt. Wang Feng, do not let me leave your house without allowing me to give you just a small token of what I owe you.
我请求你们，别让我这样白走，连一点谢意都没有。
钱还给你。
My mother was quite a lady. After she sent the landlord packing, she bought chickens for Kung Fu, and we had a grand dinner. I believe that was the best Thanksgiving feast I ever attended.
What's that got to do with cranberry sauce?
Not a lot. Here, Harry, why don't you try some? You'll probably find, like me, you hate it.
Next on the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. What are you doing? I'm playing baseball. What's baseball?
There's even a rumor they found a new messiah, some sort of great spiritual teacher.
Occult, supernatural new messiah.
You want to know whether the young Krishnamurti is a fraud?
I don't believe in what I can't see.
Christians believe in the devil, don't they? Have you ever seen the devil?
I think you fail to realize the hypocrisy of your position.
I beg your pardon, Annie.